All right, how's everybody doing?
We good, Pastor. How you?
I'm doing absolutely wonderful. I want to thank everybody for joining us for our monthly financial wellness conversation. And and I ask that if you're watching on Facebook, on YouTube, if you'll go ahead and share the post, we would be extremely appreciative. I'm now going to put our meeting in the hands of our financial wellness ministry coordinator, Sister Kiera Hall.
Hello, hello, everyone. I am
Hello.
super
Hello.
excited. We have a phenomenal guest speaker in the house tonight, and she has an amazing topic that she is going to be speaking on. I love the title of her topic, but it's from dream to deed, and it's easy steps to home ownership. She has an amazing presentation, and so Joan is going to actually get an opportunity to share her presentation on her screen. So she'll be needing the screen sharing privileges if that's necessary. And I'm going to turn it over to Joan Jones, who is a realtor, and she's going to get the opportunity to tell you a little bit about herself and also get the opportunity to give some education to everyone who is live on the Zoom and also tuning in on Facebook Live and tuning in on YouTube Live and all the places where Greater Bethel is streaming. And so, everybody, if you could give a digital round of applause, we are going to get to hear an amazing presentation from Joan Jones. And thank you so much, Joan, for being so willing to share tonight.
Okay, hello everybody.
Hello,
Hello.
Joan.
Um, Help me out because I have not done a presentation forever. So, and I'm trying to bring up my, let me go back to Zoom. So how do I do that, Kiara, to bring it in?
So you'll see like a little square with the arrow pointing up, and then you'll click share on that, and then we can't see you either, but I did send you a request, so I think you could be able to just accept that request. Oh, I see you now. And so then at the bottom of the screen, you have a little square with the arrow pointing up. Once you
Oh,
click
okay,
that,
yeah.
it's going to give you your options of where you want to share from.
Mhm. So I think I have it on two. I'm not 100%. What do you see there now?
Nothing.
Nothing yet.
And if it'll be easy
So
for you, if you want to email it to me, I can share it for you.
Okay. I did send it to Kiara, so
Kira,
hold on.
you want to
I
send it to
can.
me, or you want to share it, Kira?
Yep, I'll send it
Oh,
to you right now because I got it.
Okay.
I may have made a couple changes since I ran in, but that's okay.
Oh, okay.
Uh, and I apologize. Let me go to it and I'll send it to you.
All right. If we could get
Um,
while we're waiting, if we can get Mia to give her Easter speech. Um, if while we're waiting, if we can get Mia to give her Easter speech from when she was 15, we'll do that.
my
uh,
mom used to make us sing instead of doing Easter speeches.
All right.
oh, Mia's on here. Oh my God. She's gonna criticize me.
Surprise.
Yes.
Hold on.
All right. I got it. I think Kiera sent it, but you
Yeah,
said
I don't know if it's the
but you
most
said you.
updated version, but
Okay.
I
Okay.
sent what I got.
Okay. Am I waiting on you, Joan, or you want me to open up the one that Kiera sent me?
I just sent it.
Oh, you just sent it. Okay.
Hmm. It is probably still look the same. It's just a couple things I found just because I just ran in the house.
Okay.
2 of 7 here.
I see it. All right. All right. It
Well,
just came.
everybody.
It just came
Oh,
through.
you got it.
Yeah.
Okay. I was gonna go over a scripture or something. That hold us over in the meantime.
All right.
Get it?
Yep.
Awesome.
Like you said, I
So,
don't see it on your screen, so
Yeah. I got to put it in the
oh, okay.
presentation mode. All right. Is it any sound to it, or just straight video? I mean, straight. We're just looking at it, or are we don't have any sound?
I guess I can just go on and tell you a little bit about myself while we wait, if that's okay.
All right, Joan. Do I need to turn the sound on also? Are there any videos that need to be shown?
No, no vid.
Okay.
I
All right.
haven't had time. I didn't have time to do videos.
Okay. So
So,
here we go.
but first, let me just tell you a little. I think everybody on here pretty much knows me. Um, I've been doing real estate for what, 4 years, going into the fifth year, I believe I'm correct. Um, done well so far, and thank God for that. I have 2 kids. Y'all know them. What else should I share? I know our pastor from working with him at the University of Florida years ago. Enjoyed our time working with him. Um, but anyway, we'll get to the subject. And the scripture that Kiara gave me was delight yourself in the Lord, and he will give you the desire of your heart, which comes from Psalms 37:4. And what
Mhm.
that means to me. So if I have a desire, um, it means that when we fulfill and when we find fulfillment and peace in God, our desires will align with God's. So if I ask God for something and I believe and have faith in my heart, I believe that He will give me that in due season. If He says yes, then it will be. If He says wait, then I'll have to wait. It may be something I need to do. Maybe I need to plan. Maybe I need to save. Maybe I need to maybe I need to do something different. So it means that we will have righteous desires and not selfish ones. So it's not just about me, it's about what's best for me. And
Amen.
it also means that God will give us what we long for if we find satisfaction in Him. So any word on that? Any comments on the scripture here?
I just love how you put it because I think sometimes Christians can kind of like have a desire of their heart and they just wait for it to happen miraculously. And I love how you talked about sometimes God may have some steps that you need to take in order to get to the process or get that desire of your heart. It's not going to always just be like just some miracle that like drops out of the sky, but sometimes
Mhm.
there's some work that needs to be done on our part for certain things that we desire.
Anyone else?
I
Okay,
agree.
we'll go to the next slide. It says from dream to deed, home ownership made simple. So this I'm just giving you just a few little things what you do after you done prayed and you done meditated and you've done everything that you need to do and in God's will. And if you're a believer, hopefully you're on here. Um, then having some kind of expectation that God will supply all of our needs and He'll give us some of our desires and wants. So the first step is an annual credit report. So you want to define your personal and financial goals. Sometimes you may think about what you want in a home, what kind of amenities you want, idea where you want to live, how long will it take you to get to save for down payment. You need all of those things. And even though these are important and can help define the goals of what you would like to meet, the first thing you will need is a credit check. I mean a credit report. And you can get, I think we are allowed one credit report per year. The next screen, Reverend. You're allowed one credit score per year. And there are three areas. I think it's Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. And you can find if you want to jot down that that website, or you can call the number, and they'll do it for you free. But you only get one per year, and that's important to know because when I get a buyer, I always tell them we got to know where you are financially. What can you do? How much money can you what can you afford really? So next screen. So the second thing you got to save for, this is even before you even talk to a lender. You want to make sure that you have enough for a down payment. Although you may not know what it is, but you know it's not $100 or $200. You got to know that, hey, I need some money. I need something. So you want to get everything together, get your a financial meet with a financial person to see what you need to do. So and then checking your go to the next one, Reverend. So then we'll shop for a mortgage. Now, pre-qualified, I have what it means here. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have what it takes yet. They're just basing it on what you have told them. They've not done a credit report. They've not done any of that. You just give them the bare minimum. And then there is pre-approved. Now, pre-approved doesn't mean that you got the loan. It just means that they went a little deeper. In the next slide, sorry about that. And here I am. After you've done a few things with the mortgage, finding a lender, and you want to for you not finding a lender first, but you first want to find a good trusted realtor. And y'all see my picture up there. Hopefully, it tells you making dreams come true. So, as an experienced agent, I can save you time, money by helping you find the right home. And I'm a good negotiator. I know that. Um, and I'm licensed for 2 years at a time. I have to always go back and do updates. I may have to do. I think every realtor has to do that. You have to go back and be updated on the laws and everything else that they require. So every 2 years you have to do that. And the next one, Rev, I think I may have missed one of them, and I did. And that's the actual mortgage. I usually connect you with the lender. Whether you, if you don't have one, I'll help you find one. You never have to use the one that I suggest, but I will help you find one. If you're buying a newly constructed home, then what I do is I'll work with the builder, and I work with them all the way through your process. I negotiate even with them, even when you don't know it. I work with them so that nothing goes by me that you should know or should not know. You're gonna know it all. Any questions so far? Okay, I'll take that as a go ahead. And then we'll go, once you've been approved, that's too far, man. Once you've been approved, then we'll go house hunting. So basically, what I do is I'll go in the system and I'll look and see what, um, according to what your lender has said that you qualify for, and unless you have a lot of money you want to put down, and then you can qualify for more then. But still and yet, I will go out and I will look for homes in our system. The MLS system is called the multiple listing system. And if even if you know some places that you want to be, just send them to me and I'll look them up. And I'll tell you if it's a good thing or a bad thing. I cannot tell you if it's a good area, but I can tell you all the things that you're not able to see. Say, hey, no, I don't think this is a good property. But if you still want to do it or look at it, then hey, I'm here for you. And then we go to, once you find the house that you want to buy, that you're most interested in, usually I tell you to look at three of them. You can only put an offer in on one, but you can look at three of them and say, okay, let's wind it down. We'll do a few things to make sure that it's what you want. I'll do a CMA, excuse me, and that's a comparative market analysis to see if it's worth what they're selling it for. So I'm going to do a whole lot of work on the backside for you and give you the most mm, knowledgeable, give you some information on what it's worth or what it isn't worth, or what they're offering, what we can do, and go from there. So you don't have to take that all. I mean, you don't have to take the one or the two, but you got to end up with something. So we can start somewhere. We put an offer in on one. The law says we can't put two or three offers in on a house unless you've been approved for two or three houses. So we can only put in one, and we can see how that goes. And after we put it in, and if the seller decides that they're going to accept it, then we'll go from there. We have dates. I'm going to remind you of every date. Can you go to the next one, Rev? We'll have a home inspection, which is very important. I never tell a buyer not to do home inspection. Always do that. You usually have 10, 15 days, 14, whatever the days you really want it. Um, if you're really interested in purchasing the house and you have cash and you want to pay, then we may do less, but we still need to do, I wouldn't suggest that. I like to go up to 20 days if possible. And that tells us everything that we need to do. You might find out if the seller, excuse me, if the seller would, we may be able to ask the seller for repairs or whatever it is, and what contingencies. If you have a house and you want to buy a house, then purchasing that house may have on a contingency on buying the other house. So we'll put that in the contract. Hey, I can't buy this house until I sell my house, whatever it is. Or whatever it is you want to make a contingency, we can do it. And one contingency is if you, in the end, you have to be able to get the loan. So, and that comes after, before closing. And what I put in there is that, hey, if the loan doesn't go through, then you're not going to keep their deposit. So we'll go to the next one. And the next one, Ram. Then we'll negotiate repairs and credits. So we find if it's a resale of a house, we'll find everything possible that we want to look through it with a fine tooth comb. If the inspector says that you have a roof issue, we're going to ask them to replace or to repair it. Or if you have carpet problem, if you don't want carpet, then we'll ask them for a credit. So that's basically what that means. But if the house is ready to roll, ready to move in, we don't have anything to ask for if everything is good. But you not negotiate, but you got all of that. You tell me what you want to do, what you will or what you won't accept, and I have to do it. Next one, Rhea. All right. A, and this is why I talked about the first up in the beginning. A pre-approval is not the same as an official approval. Getting final loan approval means you need to keep your finances and credit in line during the underwriting process. And I cannot stress this enough. Please do not get any new credit cards, no nothing. Don't go out and buy furniture. You all excited? Don't do it. I don't care if it's a piece of uh, a bed that you want. Don't do it because it all shows up on your credit. Those are the things that will keep you from, after all the hard work of trying to get the house. Now you can't get it because you don't went out and opened you some credit cards and done bought a car and whatever else. You can't do it. Wait until you done sign the paper and they tell you it's yours. Next one. Then we have what they call a walkthrough. We walk through it, whatever, if it, especially if it's a new constructed home, we still walk through it. I don't care what. You still have an inspection. I don't care what. And they'll tell you, you will tell them, no, this is not what I want. Supposing they put in um, white walls instead of gray walls or whatever the color is, and that's not what you originally saw. They made changes after you saw it. You don't have to accept it at all. But it is your responsibility and my responsibility to make sure that we do a walkthrough to find anything. They chip the paint on the wall, they have to fix it. Doesn't matter. Okay. And I believe the next one, Rev. And here we are. We can say hallelujah because you did not go out and get a new credit card. You didn't go to Home Depot and buy nothing from there. I don't care what. You didn't sign for a credit card because they offered you no interest or whatever it is. Don't do it. Now you can go to closing. All the contingencies have been met. You're happy with the walkthrough. The lender has declared your loan is clear, and you can finally make some official and close on your new home. After all the paperwork has been signed, the home is officially yours. The day you sign it is the moment you own it. I don't care if it's 5 o'clock, you own it. If it's 6 o'clock, you own it after 6. And I can say congratulations, and we'll take some pictures with a key and say it's my new home. So, do I have any questions?
So, what are some things that we might need to consider if I've been renting for a long period of time and I decide to buy a home? What are some things that I may need to know before doing that that may be different from the rental experience as it relates to cost and expenses?
Okay, rental. Well, you're not paying for maintenance. Number one, you're not paying anything that needs to be fixed in the apartment. All you do is call, as my nephew used to say, call the people. Let them come and fix it. The toilet go down, let them come and fix it. You just call them. You don't have to do a yard. You don't have to do none of that. However, in owning, you will be responsible for maintenance.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever happens after you signed it, you're responsible. Unless you get a home warranty, which is important, then you got to pay for it. And those are things that we would do in the negotiation side of, hey, I like to have a home warranty, and you would have it for a year. But renting is different. However, it will allow you to be able, hopefully, to save some money to make a down payment. So did I answer your question good?
Yes, ma'am.
Miss Jones, I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
If, excuse me, if I'm preparing to get a home, I understand about the pre-approval and all of that. What else should I anticipate having to pay for as I journey into the process of living in the home?
Before moving, well, I want to put it, once you have purchased it, well, now you're responsible for the taxes, but that comes later, like a year after. And make sure I'm answering. You're not asking the same question that Reverend asked, but in a different way, are you?
No, you're going in the right direction.
Oh, okay, okay. So,
I don't think I am, Reverend. Am I asking the same question?
No, ma'am.
okay.
Okay.
So there are a lot of responsibilities you have, in owning a home. We You own it, it's yours. What happened to it is yours. You pay out, is yours. So I can't say what other than when you have closing, there are some costs that you may have to pay because everything is prorated. So proration meaning that, for example, taxes. The seller owns it until the day of. After the day of, you own it. So you have to start paying taxes based on the time that you own it. That makes sense?
Okay, I did hear taxes, but what about insurance? Will I have to get
All
insurance on this property?
Well, sometimes it's included with not necessarily included. You paying for it, but in your mortgage, you're responsible. They'll have what they call
Escrow.
escrow accounts, and all of that is added up. Now, if you buy within a community that has HOA, it's all it's all added in, but you have to pay the HOA fees. And the reason they do that is for what they call debt to loan to debt ratio, to figure out making sure that you can afford it. Because well, if you get a HOA and your HOA fees is $5,000 and you did not account for that, but the loan accounted for it, but you have to pay it according to whatever the laws are for that, for
And
the
what is the HO? What is it now? HAO?
homeowners association.
And what's included in that?
Well, they're all different. Some it depends. If you were to buy out in, I can use one, Meadowbrook. Meadowbrook, their HOA may be 3,000 a year. Might be up to, depends on the square footage of your house. So if you do that, then usually they'll pay anything outside the walls, the inside walls of the house. They're paying for the roof. They're paying for anything to have the yard, all the maintenance outside. So your insurance would be cheaper for the inside because it's a different type of insurance. So it all depends on where you are. If you're in a subdivision that maybe they charge 100, 200, I don't know. But and they don't include that maintenance of the roof, none of those things. I don't know what it would be
Yeah.
because I haven't calculated that. But it is different for every community that has an HOA.
Yeah, and so most HOAs, um, they make sure that they maintain all of the common areas, and
Mm-hmm.
and so the lawn, all the common areas. But once you hit your property, it's shown.
Mhm.
But the major thing that you have to make sure that you study with that HOA, you got to see what are the restrictive covenants. You might they only there may be certain colors that you can only use to paint your house. So if you have boats or trailers or things like that, you might say that you can have a boat, a trailer, or a shed. And so you got to really know what's in that HOA because it's restrictive and there are things that you can't do. And so it's your house, but because you signed that agreement and with that HOA, there are things that you can't do, and then they can fine you,
Yes.
and then
Mhm.
and then make you remove it. And so if you put a roof on there that's the wrong color, that's outside of their color, they can, or you put a metal roof on there where you can't have metal roofs, um, they can make you remove that roof.
Right. And it's all based. It really well. It depends on how you look at it, but it helps your resale value, and it also helps that you don't have people with lime houses, pink houses, and that's not their color scheme. So you get ready to resell your house, and folks are looking at your neighborhood. They may not want to purchase it. So this kind of helps. I think it does. I think I saw Mia's hand.
Yes. Ms. Jones, you mentioned something the other day about CVE, and I wonder if you can explain what that is. That was the first time I'd ever heard that term. So I don't know if that's something we deal with in Alachua County, but it sounds like it's something we deal with that's done outside of our county, maybe. But can you talk about that and what that is and how that
See,
impacts a new homeowner?
well, I don't believe we have that here. I think it's the CDD is what was the term? It's hold on a second and I'll tell you. But it's a community development district. That's what it is.
Oh
Community
yeah,
development district. So what happens is a lot of they offer like they may have some stores and it's different, and you're paying for all of that even before it comes about. They usually have those. Orlando have lots of them. I believe we may have one which is, oh, what is the name of it?
In the Newberry area?
It's not in Newberry area. It's before you get to the Newberry area. The homes out there are very expensive, but they
Jonesville?
have CDDs.
So I know in St. Johns County they have those, and what you have to pay is almost like here, like we have impact fees
Mm-hmm.
that the developers have to pay. Um, and like in St. Johns County, what the developer does is passes that on to the buyer. And so when you move in
Correct.
certain areas and whatever the infrastructure cost is that they had to put down to make your area appealing or for Publix to be there or whatever, the actual people pay that fee because the developer just passes it on to the buyers.
That is correct. In some cases, you may be able to pay it off, but it's kind of expensive. But a lot of people don't because it's all based on your taxes as well too. So it goes along. Sometimes it comes in your taxes, in your tax statement.
There's another
Thank you.
hand. There's another hand up there. I think it's just because
Sure.
is it Sheila or Felicia?
That's Sister Dee Dee.
But Joe, what I wanted to know, you was talking about the HOAs. Is that becoming more frequent to the point where it's difficult to find a home that doesn't have it, not in the HOA residence area?
While in Alachua County, it may not be as difficult, but if you go to the larger cities, it depends. It depends on the area. It may be hard to find one that's not in an HOA area.
Yeah,
Thank
the
But
you.
in
people.
Gainesville, and not maybe not. But those are things that I would look up, and that's one of the things I'll tell you. Hey, it has an HOA fee, and this fee is this much per year because I see all of that.
Yeah.
Hey, are you sure you want to do this? And
The,
it does take a part of the loan as well, like I said. So
the downside is like the people right next to us. So like when I came here, I would go out in front of our property and I would pick up any paper and stuff that's gotten thrown out over the weekend or whatever. I pick up that paper. So it was a guy next to us in the subdivision in in Eastwood Meadows. No, no, in Meadow Forest Lake and Forest Meadow, whatever Forest something Lake Forest Trails, yeah. And so he started picking up the paper in front of his subdivision, and he was basically, hey, if you can do it there, I can do it here. And so he had been
Mm-hmm.
doing it for like 3 or 4 years the whole time I was here, and he died last year.
Mm-hmm.
And one of his neighbors came to me and wanted to know if there was something that we could do to help out. They didn't have a homeowner association, but they had trash everywhere, and he had been putting in a lot of effort trying to remove trash, trying to do stuff, but wasn't getting a lot of help. And because they didn't have a home association, wasn't really anything they could do because nobody was responsible for it, and the county wasn't responsible for it. And so it's good to have an HOA. It costs, but at least like Mia got me calling you Miss Jones now. Like me and Mrs. Jones say, um, that that at least your property value is not going to be affected because because of the way that it looks and the presentation.
yes. Now, if you were to ask me, would I approve of a HOA? I definitely would because of the very reason that he just told you.
Yeah.
Ms.
Don't have to
Jones,
have.
I have another question, if I may,
Yes,
and
ma'am.
that is, do you offer any counseling or suggestions to seniors as it relates to whether they should maybe go into the not townhouses, what's the other type of home that we talk about? Um, the
Condos.
condos or a single family home. Do you think it's an advantage to share that with
About
persons who
seniors
are
going in,
shopping?
are you mean like a senior area, or is that what you're saying? I'm making sure I understand what you're
Well,
asking.
I'm thinking about the townhomes or the other type homes where the property is taken care of on the outside again, as opposed to having a single family home.
Oh,
That
okay. Wh-
you
Right. I
follow?
think I understand you. Now, in some areas, even the single family homes, they offer that as well. Um, that they do the outside. Blues Creek in here in Alachua County is one of them. They take care of the roof and all the outside. You don't have to do anything.
Mm.
Uh, to me, as a senior, I would love that because I don't want to do nothing. I don't, I do not want to do a yard. And by the time you get through paying for the yard to be done and the other things on the outside of the house, you pretty much done paid for everything. That's what I want. That's why a lot of people go into renting because they don't want to do anything. Anything break, they just call the people. Whatever it is, they just call them. So it is an advantage if they really want to purchase. You want to make sure that if you're a senior and don't want to climb stairs, you want a flat. You want to look at all those things. And that's pretty much what I do, especially for seniors. Now, I would suggest, I can't make anybody do anything, but I can suggest.
Yeah, the
But
condos as relates to, yeah, the condos and the townhomes. The townhomes are the two stories usually. Is that right? Or
in
could be.
some, it could be. You
Hmm.
could have some flat townhomes as well. And you could have, well, condos are usually one floor, but they could be like different levels if I can remember. If they're close,
Thank you, ma'am.
I see. Is that Demaria?
Mm-hmm.
Mari?
Yes, ma'am.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How you doing? I just wanted to ask, what
Hmm?
would you say is like an ideal down payment that a person should have before they even like start looking?
Now, according to what I've read and whatever, it depends on what type of loan you're getting, number one, but generally it's 1 to 2% of what the house costs, and it could be more, just depending. If you're going into um, a new constructed home, then perhaps you might have to pay more, um, unless there's some incentives. I, but usually 1 to 2%, and based on the type of loan you have. I think FHA is like maybe 3.5. I'm not 100%. Some of them it may be less. So did I answer you?
Yes, ma'am. You did. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? If there are no other questions, I really appreciate you hearing and putting up with me through my nervousness and all, because I don't normally do group presentations. I do one-on-ones. So thank you so much. Thank you, Kiera, for asking me to be a part. And if I could ever do anything for any of you, please give me a call anytime.
One more question for you.
Yes, sir.
What's the advantage over um what owning and renting?
What's the advantage?
Yeah,
Well,
because you
I
talked
can
about
pay.
you talked about some extra expenses and things like that. And so, what's the advantage? And so, if I have those extra expenses, insurance, taxes, all that, what's the advantage um, over buying as opposed to renting?
Well, number one, you won't always owe on it. You eventually gonna pay it off, and it will be yours. Now you still will have the insurance and all of that, but it will be solely your property. Then you won't have payments unless you want to, upgrade or whatever it is. But you won't have that issue. The other is you build up some equity in it. Um, Renting, you don't build up equity for nobody but the person that owns it.
What about income tax time?
Income tax, well, you can, well, I don't know a whole lot about the income tax anymore, too much. Whether you can claim it, you you may can. Depends on if you have
Yeah.
enough to claim. I'm not 100% on that because I
Yeah.
don't owe on my home anymore. So
Yeah, if you file if you file and you claim you have deductibles, that interest that you paid, there's you get help on your income taxes on based on that interest that you paid.
And also, if you have to replace your AC unit or a roof or something, that you might get some
I,
credit for that.
that is true. It's just like you may get it through the through like GRU. I don't know what they may offer. There are different things that they offer. I know with Clay Electric, they offer something for the air conditioning unit. So
Mhm.
once it's paid for, you don't get it until it's paid for, though.
Yeah.
Good, good stuff. Can you talk about appreciation?
Appreciation
Hmm.
in what sense?
What it
Oh,
is you?
appreciation, the home appreciation.
Yeah,
Sorry. I'm
like
sorry.
like the pastor's appreciation that's coming up.
That's when they get into
I'm
y'all.
like,
Well,
okay.
we appreciate you, Mr. Jones.
Wow. Now I have not, and I have to say, I have not done a whole lot with that. I believe there is a certain amount, especially when you're doing business from home, then it's some type of depreciation or appreciate, however it goes from that. But I'm not 100% about that, so I don't want to tell you something that I'm not 100% about.
Okay, yeah, you were talking about the fact that it's yours and you gain equity, and I think that equity,
Equity is in,
yeah, and so
yeah,
that
is
comes
in
from
money, right?
yeah.
Then the
So
go ahead.
when you are paying towards that principal, and then your house or your principal is going down, but your appreciation is taking it up, and you're actually making money. You know,
Yeah.
normally about 4% a year. You
Mhm.
making money on the house as opposed to like you were saying, just spending, just donating to somebody else's income. You actually
Yeah.
making money on your house, and shoot, after 10, 15 years or so, you might find out that you might if you bought a $200,000 house in 10 years, you might have close to $200,000 equity in it.
Oh, yeah.
That because of the appreciation and the decrease in principal on your from your payments. So it's a real
That's
good
true.
investment.
Right. Or even if you want to do a resale, like say for example, I know folks that bought houses in the 70s and you done paid it off. And you may have paid back then what 20 less than $30,000 for the house.
Yeah.
Well, if you kept it up, and especially if it was not just a wood frame house, but if it
Hmm.
was a block home, it has great value.
Yeah.
So today it may go for 2 or 300,000, but
Right.
you only
Wow.
paid less than 30,000 for it.
Wow. So
Yep,
that's the beginning of building generational wealth, huh?
I believe it would be. Yep, I think I saw Mia's hand.
Oh, I was going to speak to that appreciation that Pastor was talking about. When I even think about my neighborhood, when I bought it so many years ago, it has literally tripled in value at this point. So I've actually, the little bit that I paid it, I bought it for, now it's worth so much more, to the point that if I decided to borrow against it, I could buy another house and still keep this one. So that is the good part about owning a home versus just renting, is that, a rainy day comes, I have funds that I could utilize if I chose to do that, or even if I decided to sell it and then do something different, I can certainly do that. So um, and I could not have said that several years ago because I didn't own anything. I was just renting. So that is the value of renting it. It is mine. I can pass it on to my family, or I can do whatever it is I need to do towards, whatever I decide to do and when I decide to do it.
That is true. So owning versus renting, you rent for 10 years and you're paying $2,000 a month, just do the math. how much would you have had to pay in your home? And you can get loans for 15 years rather than 30 years. Or if you got a 30-year loan, you can double up and then you pay it off sooner. So, any other questions? Well, I'm very happy to see Demaria here and Jalea and oh my goodness, and everybody here, but definitely Demaria and Jalea. They're the younger crew here, and I appreciate them showing up. Here,
Oh,
well, Pastor, I'm not
all right.
sure.
Okay. She might have the babies in hand. And so we want to thank everybody for joining us today for our financial wellness conversation. Hopefully you got something out of it. And no, and normally for our people, this is the first step to building generational wealth is purchasing this. It's a whole lot different than purchasing a car. The car, as soon as you drive off that lot, it might be look pretty, but it's decreasing in value. But a home increases in value. And so hopefully if people have paid attention, know what do you have to do to get in position to buy something that appreciates and that increases in value. And if you need assistance, she's just a phone call away.
Yes,
Some
I am.
some call her Jones, some call her Mama, but Joan Jones can help you out. All right, so
Thank you.
you all have a wonderful week, and look forward to seeing you on Sunday in worship. God bless you, and have a great one.
Thank you. Joan, you did
Thank,
good. We didn't
thank
detect
you.
you were
Thank
nervous at all.
Julia's
Great
good
job.
too.